At Flight Story, we have a number of shows. We have Diary of a CEO, we have We Need to Talk with Paul C Brunson, and we have Begin Again with Davina McCall. We really prioritise the look of our shows, our sets. We generally want to create an environment when people step onto one of our shows that they're entering a host's living room or they're entering a host's space.
We've never considered the Diary of a CEO to be a podcast. For us, it's always been a show. More people watch the Diary of a CEO than listen to it. Not only watching it, but watching it on TVs. If they're watching on TV, we've got to create TV-worthy content. And that's the direction that this industry is going, without a doubt.
At Flight Story, we're all about quality, and we never want to sacrifice on any element of that. Whether we trust the host, whether we trust the guest, a lot of that comes from the quality that we put into the trailers and into the episodes.
I would put money on the fact that that's what's allowed us to stay at the forefront of this industry.
I'm Jack Sylvester, and I am the podcast director for the Diary of a CEO. We have a big setup here of 8 cameras we run every time, and there's no one else in the room other than me, Steven, and the guest. We shoot a lot of high-profile people, and actually one of our kind of marketing tactics is to try and get the guests of our show to share it on their social channels. And the best way we can do that is making them look as good as they possibly can. And with previous cameras, we couldn't quite get there, but I think with Canon, we've really nailed that look.
So when Flight Story started using the Canon cameras, instantly you could tell the difference visually on how it just elevated the quality of our work. The Canon cameras just seamlessly fitted into that mission that we're on.
Canon cameras have really fundamentally changed the way we approach filming our podcast. They've changed the way we crew, they've changed the way we set up, simply because of what the cameras are capable of. Specifically, the autofocus capability of those allows us to essentially have an entirely hands-off experience, where the only people that are in the room, or it feels like it, are the host and the guest.
The C70s, they're really compact, and I can take 8, 9 in these little Peli cases that I take over to LA and New York. The other thing is they have an inbuilt fan, which is deathly silent, which means I can carry on for ages and they don't overheat, which is perfect.
These are things we simply couldn't have done before we started using the Canon kit.
We use a range of lenses on the Diary of a CEO set. 2 of my favourites are probably the 85mm 1.2, because it just gives a really nice shallow depth of field. These cameras have an inbuilt ND filter, meaning I can take it all the way down to 1.2 and I don't have to worry about blowing out the image. The 7200 is so good for getting those really tight up shots, and then if I need to move around, it's got the in-lens stabilization, which means it stays nice and smooth.
Our sets are very colourful. We're a video-first podcasting company. One of the biggest compliments we get is about our sets and our lighting. And it's amazing to me that actually before we were using Canon, I don't think we were doing that work justice on screen, because when we compare the side-by-side before and after, it's a completely different viewing experience. It's a richer visual, and our guests and hosts just look better than ever.
Canon just perfectly reflect the reality of the world that we're shooting in. And that's just something I've not really seen with other cameras before.
I don't know how it works, why it works, but it just works. You just turn it on and the image is amazing. It doesn't look muddy. I've had problems in the past where I can't quite get the colour right and I'm not sure why. I haven't had the issue with Canon cameras. They've just been a game changer.
At Flight Story, the cameras are the vehicle that allow us to tell our story and connect with our audience. So for us, it was a no-brainer to partner with Canon, who are this imaging brand who are paving the way and setting the standard when it comes to how we communicate our stories.